Hello, everybody. Welcome to the newest episode of the Gaifus for Laifus podcast. Once again, I am your host, Daniel, joined by my once again reluctant podcast mates. Say hello, reluctant podcast mates.
Hi.
Hello.
I like how you both came in like we were about to do an AA meeting and talk about our problems.
I am. My name is Gunnar, and I am an alcoholic. Yes, thank you.
What's that scene from Nemo?
Oh,
The sharks?
Yeah, the fish are friends, not food.
fish are friends, not food. Quality movie. Speaking of that, did you guys watch Finding Dory?
Nah.
Okay, Raul.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It was okay. I mean,
Okay, that's how I felt.
I'm never gonna watch it again.
Yeah,
It's like when they made Simba 2, like Lion King 2, like, okay, it's not going to carry the magic. Like, Dory's a great character, but I don't think it carries the magic that the first one had.
I think it could have been better. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's just something about it.
Wait.
It just, I felt
Do you know about the Nemo theory?
the Nemo Theory.
Isn't
So-
it like, it's like backwards and like he's running from Marlin or some shit?
No, so this is what happens. So you know, like how only one egg survives?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He never did. Marlin thinks puts it in his own head, and he's been fantasizing or making up this story about
Oh.
one child that survives. And the name Nemo in I forget what language means like non-existent or no one.
Oh, really?
And the whole point of the show is like him running around in the
Because
ocean.
he's finding nobody. He doesn't exist.
And everyone's like, what are you talking about? There's no Nemo. I don't know who you like. They don't know how to help him. And Dory, she always forgets. So she would never know.
It's like the perfect crime kind of thing when you pin it on somebody who forgets or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
But then there's like the whole like dentist office scene. But
Yeah.
I thought it's a cool theory.
And you could definitely I feel like someone could run with that. Like they just kidnapped a random fish, but in their minds, this is Nemo, but it's not Nemo. It's just some random fish.
He's
Yeah.
done like
You could definitely.
like that traumatic thing where he projects his son onto another fish that swam by or something like that.
This definitely is what's that one movie with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Oh, Shutter Island.
Shutter Island vibes,
You
dude.
guys ever played Braid? It was like one of the first indie games to get really big.
It sounds
Um,
familiar. Braid.
And so when you
Raid.
play the game,
Oh, Raid.
Braid, like
Braid.
like braid in the hair.
Okay, I thought it was right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's like a time traveling game, and I guess so when you play it the whole
yes,
time,
yes.
so on the top of the screen, the princess is running, and you're going after her to save her. Well, apparently you're playing the game backwards, so you're the bad guy, and you're chasing her actually the whole time. That's like the big twist of the game.
That's
is
cool.
that because every time you get closer to her, she runs away, and so they're like, "Why?"
She's trying to get away from you.
Yeah, she's running away from you because you are the monster that's chasing her throughout the whole game. So you it was the whole time kind of thing.
That's wild.
That's a good twist.
I feel I feel like there are some animes that explore that idea of
Mhm.
you are the villain and following that. Like Overlord is one that I feel like does a really good job of that. And I'm trying to think of good movies that really follow that.
I
theme.
mean, it's not really like you're the villain, but the kind of whole notion that something's not there, like what you perceive isn't true, but like the Sixth Sense,
Mhm.
Yeah,
you know,
mean,
when he's talking to the kid. Yeah. Great movie.
I like a good when it's there when you rewatch it, like all the
You can
signs
see
are there.
the signs, yeah.
Oh,
If
like
you
if
guys-
you were only paying attention enough,
Well, not that you
would've
weren't
figured-
paying attention, but like the signs are in your face. You just
Yeah.
don't know what
Yeah.
they mean.
But
That's what I like about Attack on Titan.
Oh,
I
that
rewatched
it was
Yeah,
all
exactly.
there.
rewatch the first 10 episodes, dude. Oh my god, it's all there.
It makes sense.
Yeah, the numbers. We know what they mean now.
Mason, the numbers. That's funny.
So you said transitioning out of that, you said that you wanted to talk about Elden Ring today, guys. So
Oh, okay. Well,
All right.
I feel like
me and my misery.
listen, man. I know apparently you don't like video games, apparently. Unless it
Unless
starts
it's
with
Mass Effect.
unless it's Mass Effect, you don't like it.
Hey, Horizon, dude.
Oh,
You're playing that?
oh yeah, it's,
And, Horizon
you-
Forbidden West has some of the best character, like making the character animations feel real.
well shit, man. Let's talk about fucking tell us about Horizon Forbidden West, dog. like-
I mean, we can do.
Convince me to buy it because I don't have it yet.
Listen,
I didn't even buy the first one.
So the story of Horizon is essentially you're a character. Your character's name's Aloy, and she is a female hunter who was like ostracized from her tribe. And you don't really know why leading it into it. They call her. They say that she was motherless, so she was born without a mother. Like she doesn't have a mom. And at this point in society, everything's kind of like not native, but like it's like that Stone Age kind of thing. But there's like all the animals are robots.
oh
But
okay.
they function like animals. So when they talk about hunting, they talk about like, oh, we have to like, but it's more like scavenging than like we're killing this bear, like we're killing this like wolf for fur. It's more like what just taking it down because it has parts that we need.
Oh, to like for the moped.
Like
Yeah.
like it's a weird way to describe it, but it works in the sense that it's like very like old school. Like they wear like armor, but it's made out of like the armor that of the things that they hunt.
Mhm.
I mean, you really, and pretty much it's just her journey on finding out like what her destiny is. She's like, I don't understand why I don't have a mom. And she goes, I don't know how much you guys want me to reveal about the story at this point.
You should. Okay, why should I, a person that hates video games, why should I buy Horizon Hidden West?
Forbidden West.
Yeah, you got-
definitely don't play it without playing the first one.
Okay.
The second game kicks right into like right after the first game. It's about a 6-month time skip, but it's like they talk about the events that happened
Mhm.
that kind of trigger this. I think in terms of video games, it's one of the best sci-fi stories.
Really?
Yeah, it's a great ride.
Better than Mass Effect.
No. Well, let me rephrase that. I think they both are good in different aspects. If you enjoy like Star Wars, play Mass Effect.
Okay.
If you enjoy like dystopian, like Blade Runner,
Mhm.
then play Horizon. I think.
Got it.
Okay, so
If you like Lord of the Rings,
play Elden
Elden
Ring.
Ring.
Ah, that was a good segue. Good move in there, Roll.
But so so out of 10, what do you give Horizon Hidden West? As of
It
right now.
is probably outside of is Elden Ring on PS5?
Yes.
all platforms.
I would say if you were like bought a PS5, 3 games to buy. I'm gonna say Elden Ring because like everyone's like there's Jesus and then Elden Ring that just came out. It kind of I feel bad about Horizon because it's kind of like anime that came out right now with Attack on Titan coming out. Fuck. But I do like. I would say if you got a PS5, the 3 games to get would be Elden Ring, Horizon, and then like Spider-Man.
And Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, and Ratchet and Clank.
Mhm.
Yes.
To be
But, like-
fair, I think Horizon has a bigger audience, like target audience,
Yeah.
than Elden Ring.
Yeah, you have. Well, I mean, the accessibility is so high, and it even has improved upon its accessibility, like in terms of just allowing other gamers to get involved, like the physically handicapped and stuff.
Mhm.
I don't think this isn't a criticism of people who are physically handicapped, but I don't think Elden Ring was meant for the physically handicapped in terms of just like the difficulty level.
Mhm.
And I guess that's what since you guys want to talk about Elden Ring.
That's a great segue. The disabled cannot play this game.
There's actually a
my
YouTuber.
question is what was my question? I just had it about Elden Ring. Oh, how do you guys feel about the Xbox tweeted this out about canceling get good culture? Have you heard of that?
Mhm.
So like
okay.
the get good culture is like you should be playing every game you play on like insane mode to prove that you're good at it. Like the whole like beating it on easy isn't playing the game kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Like that's like the argument. Like if
And
you play on if you
okay.
play it on easy, you're not playing the game for like its true value. So it's like become called get good culture. So and I know Elden Ring, all this the demon soul.
And this is Microsoft is saying, listen, guys, you guys should just enjoy the game
yes.
for what it is.
Yeah, Twitter, Twitter's or Xbox's Twitter.
That's what they're tweeting.
Yeah, they were like, we make games for everybody.
Listen,
Get good culture is stupid because like if you're playing the game regardless of the difficulty and you enjoy it, like that's the essence of being a gamer, right?
mm-hmm. I definitely agree with that. I think what they're saying is, valid. Like, I don't think anybody should shit on another person for playing a game like at an easier difficulty, but I do think it's something of a badge of honor to wear beating a game on like the hardest difficulty. You know what I mean? Especially
no, for sure. I mean, Halo is famous for collecting all the skulls.
Exactly.
Make the game 10 million times harder.
Yeah,
but I'm like, nah, man, I just want to kill my grunts. Feel like
yeah, and that's if that's all you want to do. But like, and I think it definitely it's there for like, listen, if I want to humble brag that I was able to beat Doom on the crazy, insane, I feel like I should be able to. I feel like that's something that you should get the humble brag. But I do agree that you shouldn't be like shitting on the people because
you play easy mode.
Yeah.
Or cinematic mode when you are more for the story than the action.
The only time you can shit on people is when you are playing a fighting game and they're in the same room.
Okay. I think Elden Ring actually made it. They made this game easier, and they know their shortcomings in their previous games and what made it super difficult for people to get into. For example, saving and like keeping your money, because in Dark Souls 3 you could go like 2 hours without getting to the next checkpoint and have like just die. Thousands and thousands of like I forget the souls they were in Dark Souls, and just die, lose it all, right? But in this game there's legit a save point like every 5 acres in like the game. It's literally impossible to miss like a checkpoint that's nearby, so they made it easier to farm and kind of stay safe.
Got it.
They also, because before, if you played a Dark Souls game, it's more like you're in like this castle area, you need to get to this set of stairs, like climb up and open the secret door to like help you progress around, rather than having to go cut through everything every time. Well, the only thing is you're boxed in, like you have to take that route and you have to get that door open. So most of the time you just have to like either run straight through or sit and farm that area till you're strong enough. Don't hit me. Exactly. But in this game, you're free to lounge around the pretty area as long as you want. Like you don't have to go fight the demon in the like fire swamp like when the game tells you to. It's more like, listen, you want to go take a peek in the mountains, you want to go take a peek in the lake, you do what you want. And if you find an area that just shit on you, just leave, come back.
So here's so as I've said, I like challenging myself, but I hate I played the first Dark Souls and I could not get past the first boss, and I was like, this is fucking psychotic. So what for someone like me who I like, obviously, like I also have my trepidations about Elden Ring because it was written by the Game of Thrones guy.
George R.R. Martin.
George R.R. Martin, who that's fine, but I don't want it. I like, how does it? So yeah, sell me. Like it's like that Wolf of Wall Street scene. So sell me this pen.
Yeah, I said.
Actually, I got it.
Like, sell me this game.
You can get a magic sword that when you fucking swing it, it becomes a bigger magic sword.
So the sword and you guys haven't watched Vox Machina, God damn it.
And then you can get a bow. Like the one guy, the Quincy's from Bleach.
Yeah.
You can have his bow. You can have his bow, and it's like a big magic bow. Dude, I really think the open world concept and combining that with Dark Souls was fucking genius, because my gripe with Dark Souls games in general is that I think the magic is the coolest fucking part of the game. It's that gothic style, like this really like HP Lovecraft magic, shit that's like super crazy. But I feel like every time I play it, by the point I get to use the magic, I've already mastered. Like I've had to go through the whole fucking game with like my weapons.
Starter stuff.
Yeah, the starter stuff. Or like maybe I pick up like a spear or something along the way that I go with. But like I can never play like a truly like a magic playthrough. But with the open world aspect, I can go around and I can do the build that I want and get to really actually utilize these things that you really want to only get to utilize like in end game content kind of thing.
And to play off that too is when you're even in the starter area, there's 40 hours of content in the first area that's beginner friendly. Like you don't have to go anywhere else. You have 40 hours to explore, find your spells, kind of get your setup going before you take on the actual game. Like legit, I've probably missed half of the shit in the first area because I like to go and fight the hard stuff. But for someone who wants to start out and figure out what they want to do, Gunner, you can just
dude, I love doing all the side quest shit easily.
Dungeons everywhere.
I'll do it.
You see something that looks like interesting, you're gonna walk in there, find a huge boss or a huge treasure chest or a teleporter, and it's gonna be rewarding. That's also great about Elden Ring is it's always satisfying when you do something, because sometimes you're like, man, I did all that and all I get is like a stupid shard. Nah, this one it's like anything you do, any area you go, you're gonna get like a hella sick weapon, you're gonna get a hella sick spell or armor. Like everything in there's so much. Shout out to like the character design and game designers and whoever created the weapons and the spell, because there's just so many.
They really jam packed like this. There's so much stuff, and there's any build you could think of. Like people are doing. This one YouTuber I watch, he's running around. He just maxed out his strength and endurance. He's got 2 like berserk styled great swords.
Yep.
And he has to. What was that?
Speaking of Berserk, did you hear that they put a tribute to Berserk in Elden Ring?
Did they?
Oh, did they?
That makes
really?
sense.
So there's a scene in Berserk. It's like a graveyard of swords, and it's all like his big dragon swords. And I guess in Elden Ring, if you go to a certain area, I didn't see what it was.
They have the graveyard of swords.
The grave of swords. Yeah.
That's fucking sweet. Can you get Guts' sword in the game?
I don't know, but
there's actually a large sword that's called the Guts sword.
Oh, well, there it is. Then that has.
It literally splits horses in half.
Fuck. What the fuck? That's wild.
I'm telling you,
dude, that's fucking sick.
And I went into it like I want to be straight slasher, quick dodge, like poke.
Your standard Dark Souls build, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I've played before. I know I have to do a lot of dodging, and it's either that or like get a hella strong shield and take hits. But I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. But I was playing and I was like, man, I really should pick up magic because this shit is sick. So I'm doing like a half like dexterity / intelligence build where I can, it's a lot of fun. And I really, the next playthrough, because I'm definitely gonna play it again, I'm gonna go straight like Lancer. Wait, what are they called? The dudes who ride on the horses with the giant ass fucking glaives.
Oh, with the halberds or whatever.
The halberds, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna go around just swinging on people.
Dude, that's Oh, dude, and can we just talk about they give you a horse?
Oh yeah, and he can double jump.
Dude, that's fucking sweet.
I feel like I did forget that the publishers of Elden Ring is Bandai Namco, and Bandai Namco, if you guys don't know, is famous for anime games. They're like the anime game people. So like they made all the anime fighters like Dragon Ball Fighter Z, a lot of the I think they might have done
One Piece stuff.
Yeah.
They did
Nexus, which is an anime game. A couple of the other like the RPG anime games.
Well, then they do the Shonen Jump one.
Or is that Jump Force?
Or Jump Force? Yeah.
God, the greatest thing that never was.
It had potential. Actually, what happened was they were making the game, and then they found out they're making the next Dark Souls, so they just put all their resources into that.
I will say, is you were telling me to try to sell you on this. It does not hold your hand. It's not something that's gonna walk you through and be
Yeah.
like, okay, this is how you do this. You're having trouble? Try this. Nah, you have to figure it
It's
out or come back, or it's really all up to you.
Yeah.
So that's why we as Americans like it, to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, kind of.
Oh, actually, a lot of people have issues with it. They're saying it's too hard, and they
I've
made
heard
it
that too.
easier. Like they legit made it easier to try to reach a bigger population.
Mhm. I
And-
really think the open world, like you said, if something is too hard, you don't have to fight it. You could go, you can come back. You
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, that
It's-
that was the off-putting part when I played that first game. I'm like, I can't leave
Yeah.
until I beat this boss, and I know, like, I'm sure all the Dark Souls fans out there, I sound like a bitch because
I almost gave up too. On my
I'm
first
like,
time.
this is like, because like they put you in like a 10x10 square, and this
Big
demon
ass
has a
motherfucker.
hitbox the size, that would put most fighting games to shame.
Guess-
And
Mhm.
I'm
Got
just
some
like, how do
crazy
I-
motherfucker moves. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree. I really think, I just it's reminds me a lot of like D&D, the sense that like if you don't want to fight something, like if you want to fight the big baddie, you can fight the big baddie.
If you want to go be a beat farmer, as
If
guys
you
like
want to
say.
go, if you want to
Oh
go
my God.
explore the countryside.
Yeah, I literally spent a couple hours just hunting down deer, collecting feathers and bones, and
Turned
like
into
stuff
South Park, killing
to-
boar,
Yeah,
you were
2 XP.
make my
to-
bows.
the bit.
And you know what? A lot of people were complaining about like, because there's a frame cap. You can't get past like 60 frames,
Mhm.
and it kind of dips on PC because it's not supposed to be like a high intensity, high quality game.
Yeah, you're
But
not
it's-
playing Call of Duty, but yeah, it's not.
It's stunning. It's the prettiest, and FromSoft has a lot of like crazy map building, world
Mhm.
building. This tops all. It's like they took all the best stuff from their previous games and put it into this.
Gotcha. No, I definitely agree with that statement. I think like everything that I want is in this game as an Elden Ring, and I really feel like, and I think that's it. Reflecting on everyone's playing it right now. Everybody's playing it. And so I think they've really done the best of everything. You can have your cake and eat it too. And so that's what I would say. Even if you've tried like a Dark Souls game in the past and you've hated it, I would say
You
still
should.
you should give it a shot.
Yeah. So
Okay,
give it a
so
shot.
everyone says give it a whirlsies.
Give it a whirl. If you hate it, just fucking bring it back.
to wrap
You're
it
fine.
up, listen, I'm gonna give you my rankings. So in terms of my favorite, Elden Ring already is at the top spot.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm a sucker for Dark Souls 3 because it was the first one I got into. Then it goes Sekiro because I love the Japanese, art style they had in there. Then Dark Souls 2, and then Dark Souls 1. Did I say Bloodborne?
I don't think
Oh,
you
you
said
did put
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne as
Okay,
No.
Bloodborne goes below Dark Souls. That's a hard one.
I did play Bloodborne for like a minute.
People are gonna hate me, but I think I like. Nah, it's gonna go. So it goes Elden Ring, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and then Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls.
Yeah.
But in terms of difficulty, Sekiro is number 1.
I've heard that one's.
That one's legit just gonna whoop on you.
Mhm.
I think Dark Souls 1 and 2, they're pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Then Dark Souls 3. Then Bloodborne. I honestly didn't think, maybe because I had played a game before, but Bloodborne wasn't as hard as Dark Souls 3. And then at the bottom will be Elden Ring. So it's the easiest and the best of the games. So if you're not sold, you're lost.
Speaking of, sorry, this is just a random transition, but there's another game that's like Dark Souls. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called Sifu.
Oh no.
Oh, I have heard of Seafood. Yeah.
I didn't say
I've
Neo.
watched gameplay on it, and it's a little. It's like Kung Fu Dark Souls. So
That's the one where every time you die,
you become
your
a little
character.
older.
Yeah.
And then once your character reaches like its max age, so basically every time you die, it adds, and then it adds in. So like if you die once, it adds 1 year to your counter, and then once you get to like 80, you die, and then the game resets, and you have to start over. But it's apparently
Crazy.
like a kung fu game. So you like
Mhm.
do like you have to like it's like a beat 'em up. So you have to brawl, but apparently the mechanics are really tight. So
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of gameplay on it. It looks like really well done. And yeah, it's I really love that aspect of like you have to coming back, you get older. And the other thing that's cool about it too is the older you get, the stronger your attacks are, because you're like older, you're wiser, you've had more years of experience. But then at the same time, like when you go through the game, you can't gain any of that back, because time only flows one way. So if you die and you run out of time, you got to start the game all over.
Yeah, I think that's a super fucking cool mechanic. I don't know. It just reminded me of Dark Souls. Sorry, I wasn't trying to take away from.
No. I think
Raul's Elden Ring.
Listen,
I was done.
Is the story good?
Oh, all the stories are good, bro.
I saw the trailer for it and I was like, this doesn't. Yes, George R.R. Martin. Of course, classic.
Well, okay. To be fair, though, the Dark Souls, Dark Soul lore is always like, you're never gonna get like the story from playing the video game. You get the story from reading the item descriptions
and watching a YouTube video that someone put together.
You're no one's like, you can't. You're not gonna like, even playing like Bloodborne or something like that. You have no idea what's going on. You're just doing shit.
I was level 50, like halfway through the game, and I had no idea what was happening. And then I watched a video.
I just go for it.
I watched the video, and then it all made sense, and I was like, oh, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But they did actually make it less cryptic in Elden Ring too. Like that's another like thing they were trying to make it easier for people to get into, is it's no longer cryptic and like you have to read into like the poems and the notes. Everything has a description, and the NPCs will tell you straight to your face like what's going on, what's happening.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's cool.
So no more riddles. No more riddles.
Yeah. Maybe next month I'll give it a look-see when I'm.
So you can piece it together, but I just recommend watching a YouTube video. Anyway,
So
but yeah,
I have a murder board in my room.
So listen, out of 10, what do you give it, Raul?
10.
10 out of
Easy.
10.
Easy.
You think it's gonna be game of the year?
It'd probably be game of the decade of 2020s, unless like something like nuts happens in the next 5 years to like upgrade gaming.
Changes the way the game plays, and then
this is contender at least.
That's wild. 10 out of 10.
It's amazing. It's amazing to me that, and I guess it makes sense now that I think about the US for the past 2 years. But just like the level of, like, you would think that like a game this difficult, like, or like the Dark Souls series, would just put so many people off. Like, and it has. But I mean, like, more than what we have already. You know what I mean?
Oh, you think like everyone hate it? Like, this game is so hard.
Like, this game is a pain. Like, unless you're like sadistic or you like the challenge of a video game, or maybe it makes you feel like it's an older, like those old school video games where you're just like, oh, I gotta kill this thing, otherwise the game never continues. But I'm just surprised, like, considering how much we don't like things to be difficult. Like,
I think definitely though it's not a Western practice like in video games to make challenge. It definitely it's more of like an Eastern like practice, like where it's making the challenge. That's another game that reminds me of is Don't Starve Together. We've all played that. Well, the reason I bring that up is I was telling Raul this. It's a really, so for anyone who hasn't played, Don't Starve Together is like a survival based game where you literally you don't starve. You're just trying not to starve. And the Together version, they have like a single player, which is Don't Starve, and then the multiplayers Don't Starve Together. But anyways, the game itself, where it's really popular in China, it actually, that's where all of, or not all, like in North America, it gets a lot of plays, but like a majority of where it makes Klei Entertainment makes their revenue from is from China. And I think it stems from that idea that it's a hard game, it's a challenge, and they like a challenge. That's the practice. Like, if it's not hard, then why play it? Why put time and effort in perfecting something?
That's true, because there's a lot of games that I don't know if you guys have ever played that you're just like, why am I grinding this? So there's a game that I have on the Switch called Octopath Traveler, and when I say grind, I mean this thing is like woo. like grind. Dude.
Yeah, you're.
It's just Japanese RPGs where you gotta like kill everything and you only get 5 XP in the forest.
Oh, got it.
You're level 40 and you're just getting 2 shot and you're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna like
when it says help grandma cross the road, but you really know that grandma is actually the big baddie, and you have to take her out for 6.5 XP.
Yeah, these games are AFK arena. You just have to actually not be AFK when you level up.
That's funny. And then so like you said, it's like, is it worth it? So I think that's what it comes down to. And I mean, when you really talk about like video games in general, I think that's where originally video games come from. I mean, we're talking about arcade games. The whole point of an arcade game was make it as hard as possible. That way you got to put another quarter in and you got to keep playing.
True.
And they make the most money. And that's why, like, if you play like these older games like Pac-Man or like the original Donkey Kong, that shit's fucking hard, dude. Like, it's not easy. And like to get the controls, like to get, like, you gotta, at some point you have to be like frame perfect.
No, I get. Or like, was it the what was that game? It was called like Ikaruga or something like that. And this one where the ship flies and it's just shooting laser beams the whole time. And
yeah. You're like swerving around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That one was crazy. So what's the hardest video game you guys have played?
That's a good question.
Either finished or not finished, because, and obviously Demon Souls or Dark Souls is gonna be in there too, but something outside of those, because obviously those are in the category.
Yeah, those are definitely in there. Sekiro, hella hard. I haven't even beat that because the last boss, that motherfucker has 3 lives. You have to kill him 3 different times.
I'm looking at my game library right now. I'm trying to think.
That's a good idea.
I'm trying to think of like old games I've played that I have.
Oh, older games?
Or just like a game that just stood out in your life that you're just like, that shit was hard. Like, either you beat it and you're like, hell yeah, or you just never beat it because you're like, this game made me want to
cry. You know what was really hard for me was, you were talking about, Dark Souls like games. Fucking Bloodborne was, I had a heart. Yeah, it was. I think my waifu Jessica will tell you that I like threw my controller a couple times. Like, I was fucking pissed. And
he was telling the TV to listen.
Motherfucker.
Hey dog.
Because you get down the boss to like, it's one hit. Yeah. It shouldn't even be alive. Like, you blow like a feather hits it and it's dead.
Yeah. And then we'll make it League.
Yeah. Oh. Dude, listen. Actually, you know what? I take back my
League.
Listen, I take back my answer. League.
No.
That's a good one.
League isn't the hardest game. That's the most heart-wrenching game I've ever played. That just makes you feel like shit.
Enjoys being bad at it. Like, it's okay. I talked about trying to solo queue because I'm like, I can probably do rank by myself, because like I would just start at the bottom. But
dude, you solo queued rank by yourself? Oh, I was gonna say.
I'm talking about just like trying it to see if I can do it, but I think
don't do it.
Chris made a comment of like, yeah, you're not as good as you think you are, and I was like, okay, well, be right back. Gonna drown myself in the toilet.
Listen.
Let me see. I'm trying to think of the hardest game. The old N64 games were were always hard because of the controller layout.
Like GoldenEye. GoldenEye was hard.
I never played GoldenEye.
You never played GoldenEye?
Nah, my dad was against me playing shooting games.
Oh, really? That's rough, dog.
I
actually have GoldenEye in the. I'm gonna go grab it.
Can I put Zelda, because I could never boot Zelda up correctly, so that's on my hardest games I've ever played.
Which Zelda?
I think it was the first one. Was it Ocarina of Time?
Oh, the one on the N64, yeah.
Yeah, you needed the Nintendo certified Rumble pack or data pack. And my dad bought me like when they had like Gamer Cat, like those like 3D. Like,
they were yeah.
But and then my 64 was like wrong thing to use, dude. So I just never played it. Could not figure out, to this day, have not played any of the old Zelda games.
Listen, you just leave it on and never turn it off. And do all-nighters. That's what I used to do, because I knew I wouldn't be able to save. You just sit there and you play as long as you can.
I wouldn't even let you play the game unless you had
Oh.
this memory pack set into it.
Tough.
Like
That's
it's like
rough.
no, you don't even get to go into the club.
I mean, you can do. They did. I
Don't
think
tell me
right
do the
now.
Switch. Don't tell me
You-
do the Switch. Dude,
Why?
it's $8
do
bucks.
oh, is it $8?
Yeah, so you get that, you get the library, and then you get you have to get
$80
the
a month?
year.
Or for
Yeah,
the
you
year?
have to get the year
Uh-huh.
or like something like that, and if you get it combined, it's $80 a month.
$80
nah.
a
Access
month.
to old N64 games.
No, thank you.
That's wild.
Nintendo
That's
just
wild.
makes their profit off dropping one Mario game a year and just reselling their own
Yep.
shit.
Nintendo is the greatest of the drug. Is the greatest drug of all because we bitch about
We
it.
buy
every
it,
year.
yeah.
Yep, and then we go back and buy it.
It's
Mario Kart,
okay.
every year. We know what's gonna happen in Mario Kart, dude. Nothing changes. I just bought
Wait, aren't they releasing like a big
There's a
update
new
for?
one.
Yeah.
48 new tracks, dog. It's supposed to be the Mario Kart 9.
Got it.
But
I'm
it's just
excited
48
for
new
that.
tracks, and they're gonna release them over like the span of like a year or two.
Got it. Do you have to? Is it a whole like? Is it a DLC or do you have to?
Yeah, DLC.
Got it.
So
You know what though? I'm excited for. Speaking of Nintendo games,
Uh-huh.
Mario Strikers.
let's go. Are we gonna do drinking Mario Strikers? 'Cause I've
Dude,
done that.
you know we are. You know
And
we're gonna
it
get
was
blasted.
it's one of the greatest.
Is that the
memories of my
baseball
college
or
period.
the soccer?
Soccer?
Okay, I've never played any of the Mario
Soccer.
like sports.
Oh,
it's
really?
like-
They have like
it's in your blood.
tennis and like basketball and stuff like
It's in
that.
your blood, dog. It's easy.
I mean, I played FIFA, but not.
There you go. Like riding a bike.
Yeah.
Just feels right. You know what I mean?
Listen, Mario
This is what God
Strikers.
put me on this earth to do.
I'm excited, dog. That's just gonna be so good.
Um,
It's gonna be so good.
so now that we've talked about Elden Ring and the doom and gloom and the hardest things in our lives, I know we wanted to talk about Batman. The Batman's coming out tonight,
Yeah.
technically, because they moved everything because people be popping off in movie theaters for no reason.
Violent.
So the Batman and I know that Gunnar, you wanted to talk about this, and the vibe is a lot less cartoon or like comic booky, I feel,
Mhm.
compared to some iterations. I know that it's taken inspiration from the Long Halloween comic book, which is a famous Batman storyline where on Halloween all the villains in Gotham kind of set up he has to go through like a gauntlet of all these Arkham Asylum inmates, and so it's like him continuously like fighting and it's more of like an investigative thing than like an action kind of thing. So how do we feel about it? Because it definitely, they've talked about it having like the Zodiac killer vibes and like a lot of those like hunting a killer kind of shows and movies. So how do you guys feel about that as the take for Batman now, considering everything kind of leading up to these moments has been him being a superhero, so to speak, and not really using his detective side, and now it's more of the mind game and the detective side and why he's the world's greatest detective and things like that. So how do you guys feel?
I really think that when you're talking about I really think that's the best part of Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He and I feel like in like the animated series or like in the comic books, it really delves into him being the world's greatest detective. And I really do, because I feel like if you like when you're looking at like, okay, for example, let's take like the Justice League. Batman in the Justice League isn't like the world's greatest detective. He's more like he's almost like a Superman. He's like a super dude that is like doing all these actions and stuff. He's able to fight and like compete on like Wonder Woman level with just being like, and of course like I understand Batman, great training. He's been training since he was a child. He has he has all these martial arts skills and stuff like that. But I really think like you said, focusing on this more noir aspect of him is something that really hasn't been done in the movies, and I really think could be like could be a game changer. Definitely.
Okay. And Raul, are you a Batman fan, or are you just like?
I mean, the movies. I've never really been one for comics. But I was gonna say I do love myself some Sherlock Holmes, the one with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh yeah.
So if Batman is anything like that, but like more edgy and dark, I'm for it. And I think like to play towards the casting, since they went with Robert Pattinson is his name, that they definitely did have to kind of. I can't see him being a superhero type.
Yeah. I think the good thing about this movie is that it's supposed to be him recently becoming Batman. It's not him
as Batman.
Yeah, so it's not him locked in year 6 and he's like, hell yeah, let's, you know what I mean? Like,
this is before he gets the Batcave.
Yeah, this is him like, okay, I gotta, let's what are we messing with here? Kind of stuff.
And the Batcave is just a hole in the ground.
IGN actually gave it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, really?
IGN's pretty rough on their rating system. Yeah,
they also give Elden Ring a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, they also gave Elden Ring a 10 out of 10. But usually like IGN will be like, oh, beautiful art style, that like a bunch of compliments, and then they're like, and it's a 5,
7,
and it's a 7, and you're like,
too much water.
Yeah, like or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were like, and I think when I read the review, the guy was like, Batman's in his suit a lot. Like it attaches itself more, because that's one of the things, if you guys read the comics, is that Batman doesn't see himself as Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is his secret identity. Batman is who he is. He is Batman.
Oh, got it.
Like that's come a lot of times too. Like there's one scene, it's in the DCU, what's it called? Rebirth. DC Rebirth, which is the comic series that came out about a couple years ago, where they reset the DC universe. They run in, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman run into each other, and Wonder Woman uses her lasso of truth to figure out their identities. Like, hey, like how can I trust you? So Superman's like, I'm Clark Kent, and so she does Batman, and he's like, I'm Batman, and she's like, that's who you are? And he's like, yeah, I'm Batman. I'm not Bruce Wayne. I am Batman.
Yeah.
So
that's funny.
Yeah, so they say that that's like the vibe that it gets, is that he's like, this is who I am. Bruce Wayne is not. And apparently they're like, if you want him to be like edgy and like suave, he's not. He's just kind of like angry, which I kind of get.
I'm a little, like I was a little, when I saw the trailer, I was a little bit reserved. I didn't know how I felt. I think but like the more I see about it, I think it is going to be a good movie. Like I'm actually excited for the direction it's going to take, like the Batman franchise. I just don't know about Robert Pattinson as Batman. Is my only thing.
People say he is the best in suit Batman.
Really?
Of all the movies. Yeah, the IGN review said that. They're like, as Bruce Wayne, he's meh, but as Batman, he's the best in suit Batman.
You think they could get? You think we could get like a different actor to play the Bruce Wayne scenes?
Just have like Jim Carrey or something.
You know what's crazy too? Like all over Twitter, people are swearing up and down that it's the best Batman.
I think because it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you had like the Dark Knight was good because it had the Joker.
Yeah, like the Dark Knight brought like a more, it was like brought a darker vibe to it.
Yeah.
But I feel like this one's gonna really take that concept and really pump it up to 10. Yeah. That's actually where Gaifus Chris, the reason he couldn't join us for the podcast is he's at the movie. He's at the release right now. He's watching I
do want to go see it. I really want to go see it. So maybe
we'll definitely have to, and we will report back to let you know if it is cap or no cap.
Can we have a segment, cap or no cap?
Yeah, that's
I was just us saying crazy shit.
Yeah.
So we all have good hopes about that, and I think Gunnar, you wanted to talk about what is our favorite dark band? I guess dark fantasy, dark sci-fi, dark emphasis on dark anime that we
because
read, I guess
we were talking about how bad, like I said, this Batman's going to be the darkest one yet in the franchise. And so we're thinking like, well, like going dark can be like a really good thing. Now, and then me and Raul started talking about like what are some like really good like dark animes that like really do take that, like they go in a twisted way, and they have a theme or a way, whatever you want to say about them, but they take that dark aesthetic and they really just like run with it, and it like really does wonders for the whole film. The one that came to my mind right away, and you know I say it a lot, Devilman Crybaby.
Devilman Crybaby was an acid trip,
dude. It left scars in me, like literal scars. Like
that's how I felt. It's not my favorite, but the darkest thing I've ever read was probably Goblin Slayer. That was crazy.
Like crazy, like depressing, like what the fuck, or like crazy as in like,
okay,
no, this is intense.
This is intense, like trigger warnings for people who are for sexual assault. Literally the first like 3 pages, it's like some heavy ass like scenes, like it's literally a D&D party. They're going into the caves, and so the setup is that goblins live in small tunnels, so people being like broadswords or like heavy weapons when they should really have like a knife.
And
so because of that, the goblins get an edge on people, and usually they'll kill the men and they'll keep the women alive, and they'll use them as, you know, as objects, and that's how they reproduce actually.
And some Hills Have Eyes shit.
And then they do that till the women die.
You know, and that God, when we're talking about like dark anime,
it's Game of Thrones. It's not okay. If you guys have ever watched Game of Thrones and you ever saw one of those scenes and you're like, this is kind of like fucking intense. Like, it's like a little worse, I think.
Does Akame got kill count? Because that was kind of like,
that was dark.
Just listen. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry about what I'm saying, but everybody just dies. And at first I was like, yo, they really killed this motherfucker. And then it happened again. And then someone's head was on a spike, and I was like, yeah, they don't give a shit.
Did you know that the main guy doesn't die in the manga?
For real?
The main guy in the mine, the girl he gets with, they don't die in the manga. He actually turns into a dragon. Because he keeps using that Imperious armor. Hatsumi? He becomes a dragon and is stuck in dragon form. And so the sequel series is Hinowa Got Crushed, and it involves Akame traveling throughout the world to find a way to cure him.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, so they end up, spoilers for Akame got killed, but yeah, so he stays a dragon and Mine has their baby. And that's kind of it. That's the better ending. I guess
that's the good ending, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, they kill off everybody in the end. Like 2 people make it. When they really like more people make it, it's kind of whack. Yeah,
literally everyone died.
Also, shout out to Chris because his favorite character was Mine, and she dies in the anime.
Oh, the pink girl.
The pink haired girl, yeah.
Listen, you know, we're talking about dark anime. Like, you got to add Death Parade.
Death Parade was like beautifully dark. I cried at the end of that. I remember
the ending. Yeah, the ending, it was beautiful, but like and I just think going through it, there are definitely aspects of it that is like, it really makes you hate people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It definitely felt like it didn't need to go that hard. You know what I mean? Like it went a lot harder than it was definitely punching above its weight class. But
okay, so I need something dark, but not super like intense. Just kind of more on the scary side anime. What would you recommend?
Jesus. Is it bad that it's taking me a second? If you want to go,
give me on the edge, like kind of, you know.
It's not like considered the greatest, but Shiki is basically like Japanese anime vampires. So this town, it's literally like bumfuck nowhere town, and just people start disappearing, and then some people come back, but they're different, and it's about them trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And it has some pretty like violent like death scenes. It's nothing like I said, nothing like Game of Thrones, but that one's a good one. The problem with a lot of Japanese horror is it does go into a lot of like sexual violence when I feel like it doesn't have.
It definitely doesn't have to. I that's one of my
Listen.
biggest gripes.
That is HBO's selling point on every show they've ever made. People are crazy about Euphoria.
Euphoria is.
I watched the first episode and I was thoroughly confused.
Oh, okay, let's talk. Okay,
What?
I actually
We're gonna
haven't
become a
seen.
Euphoria podcast.
You know, can we talk about it? Because
As a teacher, I am concerned. There's a lot of concern going on.
Definitely. We got, bro, the second episode when she's in the hotel and have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen the first season. Is the second episode when she meets up with the dude from Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah.
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 It's a lot.
There's this. I don't know why they couldn't just have this like set in like college or like when they're older, because there's no high school
Where that happens.
where this happens.
Yeah.
What's funny is that apparently on social media, a lot of people are like, "This is like my high school," and I'm like, "No, it's
No, it's not. No,
adults would be involved at some point. They're not. You guys are like
no.
high school and middle school students are not as slick as I think that they are.
I mean, you can have like a high school party, but it's not gonna be freaking different drugs like everywhere, every day, every week. Like,
So would you like? So honestly, there is no real plot to it. It just follows the life of these kids. I mean, the main character is Zendaya, and she is a recovering drug addict.
Got it.
and she's not trying to recover at all.
Oh.
Yeah, I think she almost ODs, or
She does. At the beginning, she almost ODs, goes sit to the hospital, and then she has to go through rehab, and like that's her thing. But like legit, as soon as she gets out, just pop the pills and take in whatever she can, and it's just. And every character around her is crazy.
Dude, I see the TikToks, man. I see the TikToks. Like some of the scenes. And again, I haven't seen it, but just some of the scenes are just fucking wild.
Listen, talk about dark. That shit goes to some dark places.
It's dark, and it does feel a little what's it called, sensational, in the sense of like you could tell, like, and I think this was where it ties back into the anime stuff, is like it feels like they're not just like, let's just be dark, let's be as dark as possible. Like, how dark can we get in this situation?
Got it.
Like, how close to like the edge are we getting?
And by the way, these are middle schoolers.
Yeah, they're all supposed to be high school students. And so one of the Zendaya's character's name is Rue, and she's dating a girl. She's she's in an acquaintance of a. I don't know if they're dating at that point. But
like a will they, won't they kind of thing.
Yeah, but she's an acquaintance with a trans person.
Oh, okay.
And I believe that they're dating at this point in the show. But basically, if you guys have ever watched Grey's Anatomy, so there's the two characters that everyone, there's Patrick Dempsey, whose name is McDreamy, right? That's the name in Grey's Anatomy, and there is McSteamy. So McSteamy plays the dad of one of the characters in the show, and you find out that he is like a closeted gay, who has like major like repressed issues, and enjoys having sex with minors.
Ooh, not good.
And he likes to record it, which is also a crime.
That's all now.
So one of the plot lines is this tape that he has of him having sex with Zendaya's friend. It disappears, and they're trying to figure out where it is. Meanwhile, like, his son is like psycho and like abusive, and like him and his girlfriend like are gonna kill each other one day. Like, that's just like that kind of relationship that they have, and it's just a lot. There's a lot of drugs. There's a lot of sex. A lot of like graphic sex.
And they're in high school.
And they're all in high school.
God damn.
Yeah.
Like,
they're not like high school, like, oh, we're about to leave in like 4 months. It's like,
I'm a freshman.
Yeah,
sophomore,
I'm a sophomore
at best.
Yeah. What the fuck? And that's also kind of my gripe with like, some animes and stuff. I'd say most animes, like, you got like these, like, you get like these sometimes these really like raunchy scenes, and it's like they're sometimes they're like I'm a fucking middle schooler, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, how hard would it be to just
skip those 5 seconds,
or just be like, you could, you know, if you're gonna focus on, if you want to focus on telling the story of like, you know, a child or like a middle school thing, you know, let's get rid of all that out of the equation. Or if you want to do stuff like that, just put it into, like Raul said, like a college setting. How hard would that be? Like, because like the thing about college, all these crazy shenanigans could happen.
It's more likely to happen. Because like and so like Zendaya like comes to school, not just like high, but like fucked up. Like
she's like
she looks sick, like she's about to like cold sweats.
OD again.
Yeah, like she's like always when she's talking to people and stuff, and they're just like, huh, wonder what's going on with her, and they just like walk away from it, and I'm like, no, I don't know, this woman is on drugs.
Looks like she's got a case of the Mondays.
Yeah. She's got the suds like in SpongeBob.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like, and she's like high, and she's taking like Vicodin and Oxycontin and like Percocet. And it's like, and it's like in 21 Jump Street. It's not even a second period, and you're high on 4 different kinds of drugs. It's not even fucking second period.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's lit. It's an experience. It's for sure. I mean,
dude, imagine being high on just like every day in school and trying to study for like the SATs.
And then like Zendaya's like homies with like a drug dealer who's like trying to move up in the world, and like he looks like Mac Miller. Mac Miller has a little brother whose name is Ashtray. And he's like Narcos Reborn. He beats people up, and so his like they're adopted brothers. And literally, so the main guy just talks like, you know, like that one kid that was always super stoned in school was like, hey guys.
I was about to drop a name. Never mind.
This guy's high. And so he'll like beat people up, and then the brother's like, bro, what the fuck, dog? Now what are we gonna do? Like, that's what he says, and I'm like, guys, we're beyond that.
Like an episode of Wacky Racers, but like gone bad. Yeah. What the fuck?
Is it? I would say it's worse than Shameless, and Shameless is freaking Shameless.
Oh, dude, Shameless gets wild. It's worse than Shameless, wild,
but it's always carried like a funny energy to it in a weird way.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
like
dark comedy.
It's
just the comedy. There's no comedy. That's funny. That's wild. Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to watch this shit.
Tell us what you think, because I'm not watching.
I'll watch the first episode, and I will report back next week, and I will let you know.
Episode, and then watch it with Jessica, and then ask her what she would rather watch, that or like. I'm just gonna put it on like
casually.
I'm just gonna do like no intro, nothing.
Shameless stuff that happens in Shameless is like, what the fuck? I can't stop watching. Because it's funny and it's like crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then it like ties like in like the storylines and Shameless. That's what really gets me.
Yeah, and then but in Euphoria, I'm like, this is concerning. Not like
I'm like, where's the teachers, dude? Like, where's an adult?
Yeah.
Well,
and they like see their kids like stoned out of their minds, and they're like, oh, that's crazy. Zendaya must just.
We were young once, you know, so we were doing all the drugs. Exactly. That's wild. That's wild. All right, but I will watch the first episode and I will report back.
And Daniel will buy Elden Ring.
Buy Elden Ring. He's actually buying it right. He's actually playing the game right now as we speak.
In my mind, I've died 2 times and I haven't even booted the game up.
You're gonna die 2 times.
In the first more
2 minutes.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Fuck. What was I gonna say?
You were gonna.
That's all, folks.
Yeah, you were gonna say thank you for everyone who's been listening this far to the podcast. We really appreciate you listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Really helps us out a lot. I want to say thank you for everyone that's been replying and posting in the Instagram. I want to say also thank you to Daniel. He's the one running that. Shit's been pop. My phone's been buzzing nonstop,
dude.
And
I'm trying to teach, and I'm like, I'll be teaching, and then I'm like, oh, It's 8 o'clock. Gotta post something,
Yeah.
guys. Everyone, shut up for 5 seconds.
But I appreciate it. I think it is really working. But yeah, no, please, if you haven't checked out the Instagram, go check it out. Give us a follow, give us a like, leave a comment. And you can always also email us at gaifusforlaifus@gmail.com, and that'll be in the description along with all our social medias and all our other links. But yeah, thank you, Raul. Thank you, Daniel, for being with us for another episode. And we will see you guys next week and bring you the latest and the greatest.
God.
Thank you guys. Night.
Huzzah.
GN.
Huzzah.